Warning: the content you are about to see is highly speculative and somewhat chemically induced by professionals. For the safety and enjoyment of those around you, believe everything that you are about to hear and tell me why I'm right after. Or not. Why is it that the Black Knives seem to betray Ranni at the end of her questline? Once we finish helping Ranni, we find that Blaidd, a baleful shadow of the Two Fingers and closest friend to Ranni, had seemingly fought off an assassination attempt from the Black Knives. The Tarnished then finds a similar scene after informing her war counselor Iji of Blaidd's death. After resting at a grace, you find him covered in black flame and surrounded by Black Knife assassins. My interpretation of these scenes is that both Iji and Blaidd fought off the attempted assassinations. The reason that I think the Black Knives targeted both Iji and Blaidd, Ranni's closest companions, is that they felt betrayed when Ranni did not want to make one of them her lord. We know that the Nox of the Eternal Cities were awaiting the Age of Stars. In anticipation of this, they were trying to artificially create a lord to this coming age, which makes me think that the Black Knives and the Nox decided to help Ranni because they knew she would bring about the coming Age of the Stars. They were probably also promised that one of the Nox will become her lord, given that they tried very hard to create their own. Since Ranni and the Black Knives, who are scions of the Eternal Cities, with close ties to the Nox, have a similar goal in bringing about the Age of Stars, it makes total sense that they would align. Align to assassinate Godwyn, freeing Ranni of her flesh, bringing her one step closer to her goal. It wouldn't surprise me that Ranni would promise the Nox and the Black Knives, the scions of the Eternal Cities, that she would take one of their own as her lord. As for if it was a mimic tier or not, I'm not sure. We know that Ranni barely accepts the Tarnished Lord as her own. So once the Black Knives find out that she took you instead of one of them, they decided to turn on her. This seems like a case of Ranni playing politics in order to get what she needed to continue on to her path. We know that the inhabitants of the Eternal Cities had knowledge of how to harm the Greater Will and its vassals. This would prove highly valuable to Ranni, who we know was on the path of the Dark Empyrean in opposition to the Erdtree. In conclusion, I believe that the Black Knives betrayed Ranni because Ranni went back on their initial agreement to make one of the Nox, the Black Knives, a scion of the Eternal City, or even a mimic tier, the lord to her coming Age of Stars. The game makes it clear that both the Nox of the Eternal Cities and Ranni and her faction of Blaidd, Iji, and Celivis are after the same goal of bringing about the Age of Stars. The game also makes it clear that the Nox of the Eternal Cities were trying to artificially create a lord for this coming Age of Stars, to be paired with whoever was going to bring it about, which ended up being Ranni. It makes a lot of sense that the Black Knives would team up with Ranni in order to bring about the Age of Stars, and in order to ensure their loyalty, Ranni would most likely promise her hand to a lord of the Eternal Cities. Once the Black Knives realized that the Tarnished Lord is the one who gave Ranni her ring and became the consort to her Age of Stars, they retaliated by attempting assassinations on both Blaidd and Iji, and possibly even Ranni, since we find them at the base of her tower. It wouldn't surprise me that in order to gain the help of the Black Knives, who are scions of the Eternal Cities, that Ranni would have to promise them something enticing. And something as enticing as becoming the lord to the coming Age of Stars, which they had been trying to achieve for quite a while, it seems, would make total sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bring up any counter evidence, any extra evidence, any other things you guys would think would be cool to talk about. I think the next short I want to make is going to be about why